Act 1, Scene 1. Enter the tribunes and senators aloft, and then enter below Saturninus and his followers and soldiers at one door, and Bassianus and his followers and soldiers at the other, with drums and trumpets. Noble patricians, patrons of my right, defend the justice of my cause with arms, and countrymen, my loving followers, plead my successive title with your swords. I am his firstborn son, that was the last that wore the imperial diadem of Rome. Then let my father's honor live in me, nor wrong mine age with this indignity. Romans, friends, followers, favorers of my right, if ever Bassianus, Caesar's son, were gracious in the eyes of royal Rome, keep then this passage to the capital, and suffer not dishonor to approach the imperial seat, to virtue consecrate, to justice, continence, and nobility, but let desert in pure election shine, and Romans fight for freedom in your choice. Enter Marcus Andronicus aloft with the crown. Princes, that strive by factions and by friends ambitiously for rule and empery, know that the people of Rome, for whom we stand a special party, have by common voice in election for the Roman empery chosen Andronicus, surnamed Pius, for many good and great deserts to Rome, a nobler man, a braver warrior, lives not this day within the city walls. He by the Senate is excited home from weary wars against the barbarous Goths. That with his sons, a terror to our foes, hath yoked a nation strong, trained up in arms. 10 years are spent since first he undertook this cause of Rome, and chastised with arms our enemies' pride. 5 times he hath returned bleeding to Rome, bearing his valiant sons in coffins from the field, and at this day to the monument of the Andronici done sacrifice of expiation, and slain the noblest prisoner of the Goths. And now at last, laden with honour's spoils, returns the good Andronicus to Rome, renowned Titus, flourishing in arms. Let us entreat by honour of his name, whom worthily you would have now succeed, and in the capital and senate's right whom you pretend to honour and adore, that you withdraw you and abate your strength, dismiss your followers, and as suitors should, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness. How fair the tribune speaks to calm my thoughts. Marcus Andronicus, so I do affay in thy uprightness and integrity, and so I love and honor thee and thine, thy nobler brother Titus and his sons, and her to whom my thoughts are humbled all, gracious Lavinia, Rome's rich ornament, that I will here dismiss my loving friends, and to my fortune and the people's favor commit my cause in balance to be weighed. Exit his soldiers and followers. Friends that have been thus forward in my right, I thank you all and here dismiss you all, and to the love and favor of my country commit myself, my person, and the cause. Exit his soldiers and followers. Rome, be as just and gracious unto me, as I am confident and kind to thee. Open the gates and let me in. Tribunes, and me a poor competitor. Saturninus and Bassianus go up into the Senate house. Exit aloft Marcus, tribunes, and senators. Enter a captain. Romans make way. The good Andronicus, patron of virtue, Rome's best champion, successful in the battles that he fights, with honor and with fortune is returned from where he circumscribed with his sword and brought to yoke the enemies of Rome. Sound drums and trumpets, and then enter 2 of Titus' sons, Lucius and Mutius, and then men bearing a coffin covered with black, then 2 other sons, Mardius and Quintus, then Titus Andronicus, and then Tamora, the queen of gods, and her sons, Alaribus, Chiron, and Demetrius, with Aaron the Moor, and others, as many as can be. Then set down the coffin, and Titus speaks. Hail, Rome, victorious in thy morning weeds! Lo, as the bark that hath discharged his fraught returns with precious laden to the bay, from whence at first she weighed her anchorage, cometh Andronicus, bound with laurel boughs, to re-salute his country with his tears. Tears of true joy for his return to Rome, thou great defender of this capital, stand gracious to the right that we intend. Romans, of 25 valiant sons, half of the number that King Priam had, behold, the poor remains alive and dead. These that survive, let Rome reward with love. These that I bring unto their latest home, with burial amongst their ancestors. Here Goths have given me leave to sheathe my sword. Titus, unkind and careless of thine own, why sufferest thou thy sons unburied yet to hover on the dreadful shore of Styx? Make way to lay them by their brethren. They open the tomb. There greet in silence, as the dead are wont, and sleep in peace, slain in your country's wars. O sacred receptacle of my joys, sweet cell of virtue and nobility, how many sons hast thou of mine in store, that thou wilt never render to me more? Give us the proudest prisoner of the gods, that we might hew his limbs, and on a pile ad manus fratrum sacrifice his flesh before this earthly prison of their bones, that so the shadows be not unappeased, nor we disturbed with prodigies on earth. I give him you, the noblest that survives, the eldest son of this distressed queen. Stay, Roman brethren, gracious conqueror, victorious Titus, rue the tears I shed, a mother's tears in passion for her son. And if thy sons were ever dear to thee, O think my son to be as dear to me. Sufficeth not that we are brought to Rome to beautify thy triumphs and return captive to thee and to thy Roman yoke? But must my sons be slaughtered in the streets for valiant doings in their country's cause? Oh, if to fight for king and commonweal were piety in thine, it is in these. Andronicus, stain not thy tomb with blood. Wilt thou draw near the nature of the gods? Draw near them then in being merciful. Sweet mercy is nobility's true badge. Thrice noble Titus, spare my firstborn son. Patient yourself, madame, and pardon me. These are their brethren whom your Goths beheld alive and dead, and for their brethren slain religiously they ask a sacrifice. To this your son is marked, and die he must, to appease their groaning shadows that are gone. Away with him, and make a fire straight, and with our swords upon a pile of wood let's hew his limbs till they be clean consumed. Exit Titus' sons, Lucius, Quintus, Martius, and Mutius with Alarbus. O cruel, irreligious piety! Was never Scythia half so barbarous? Oppose not Scythia to ambitious Rome. Alarbus goes to rest, and we survive to tremble under Titus' threatening look. Then madame stand resolved, but hope withal the self-same gods that armed the queen of Troy with opportunity of sharp revenge upon the Thracian tyrant in his tent, may favor Tamora, the queen of gods, when gods were gods, and Tamora was queen, to quit the bloody wrongs upon her foes. Enter the sons of Andronicus, Lucius, Quintus, Martius, and Mutius again. See, Lord and Father, how we have performed our Roman rites. Alarbus' limbs are lopped, and entrails feed the sacrificing fire, whose smoke like incense doth perfume the sky, remaineth not but to interre our brethren, and with loud larums welcome them to Rome. Let it be so, and let Andronicus make this his latest farewell to their souls. Sound trumpets, and lay the coffin in the tomb. In peace and honor rest you here, my sons. Rome's readiest champions, repose you here in rest, secure from worldly chances and mishaps. Here lurks no treason, here no envy swells. Here grow no damned drugs, here are no storms, no noise but silence and eternal sleep. In peace and honor rest you here, my sons. Enter Lavinia. In peace and honor live Lord Titus long. My noble lord and father live in fame. Lo, at this tomb my tributary tears I render for my brethren's obsequies. She kneels. and at thy feet I kneel with tears of joy shed on this earth for thy return to Rome. O bless me here with thy victorious hand, whose fortunes Rome's best citizens applaud. Kind Rome, that hast thus lovingly reserved the cordial of mine age to glad my heart, Lavinia, outlive thy father's days, and fame's eternal date for virtue's praise. Lavinia rises, enter aloft tribunes, senators, Saturninus, Basinius, and Marcus with a white robe. Long live Lord Titus, my beloved brother, gracious triumpher in the eyes of Rome. Thanks, gentle tribune, noble brother Marcus. And welcome nephews from successful wars, that survive and you that sleep in fame. Fair lords, your fortunes are alike in all, that in your country's service drew your swords, but safer triumph is this funeral pomp, that hath aspired to Solon's happiness, and triumphs over chance and honor's bed. Titus Andronicus, the people of Rome, whose friend in justice thou hast ever been, send thee by me their tribunes and their trust, this palliament of white and spotless hue, and name thee in election for the empire. With these our late deceased emperor's sons, be candidatus then, and put it on, and help to set a head on headless Rome. A better head for her glorious body fits than his that shakes for age and feebleness. What, should I don this robe and trouble you, be chosen with proclamations today, tomorrow yield up rule, resign my life, and set abroad new business for you all? Rome, I have been thy soldier 40 years, and led my country's strength successfully, and buried 21 valiant sons, knighted in field, slain manfully in arms, in right and service of their noble country. Give me a staff of honor for mine age, but not a scepter to control the world. Upright he held it, lords, that held it last. Titus, thou shalt obtain and ask the empery. Proud and ambitious tribune, canst thou tell? Patience, Prince Saturninus. Romans, do me right. Patricians, draw your swords, and sheathe them not, till Saturninus be Rome's emperor. Andronicus, would thou were shipped to hell rather than rob me of the people's hearts. Proud Saturninus, interrupter of the good that noble-minded Titus means to thee. Content thee, prince, I will restore to thee the people's hearts, and wean them from themselves. Andronicus, I do not flatter thee, but honor thee, and will do till I die. My faction, if thou strengthen with thy friends, I will most thankful be, and thanks to men of noble minds is honorable meed. People of Rome, and people's tribunes here, I ask your voices and your suffrages. Will ye bestow them on friendly on Andronicus? To gratify the good Andronicus and gratulate his safe return to Rome, the people will accept whom he admits. Tribunes, I thank you, and this suit I make, that you create our emperor's eldest son, Lord Saturnine, whose virtues will, I hope, reflect on Rome as Titans raise on earth, and ripen justice in this common weal. Then, if you elect by my advice, crown him and say, Long live our emperor. With voices and applaud of every sort, patricians and plebeians, we create Lord Saturninus, Rome's great emperor, and say, Long live our emperor Saturnine. A long flourish till Saturninus, Basinius, and Marcus come down. Titus Andronicus, for thy favors done to us in our election this day, I give thee thanks in part of my deserts, and with deeds requite thy gentleness. And for an onset, Titus, to advance thy name and honorable family, Lavinia will I make my empress, Rome's royal mistress, mistress of my heart, and in the sacred pantheon her espouse. Tell me, Andronicus, does this motion please thee? It doth, my worthy lord, and in this match I hold me highly honored of your grace, and here, in sight of Rome to Saturnine, king and commander of our common weal, the wide world's emperor, do I consecrate my sword, my chariot, and my prisoners, presents well worthy Rome's imperious lord. Receive them, then, the tribute that I owe, mine honour's ensigns, humbled at thy feet. Thanks, noble Titus, father of my life. How proud I am of thee and thy gifts. Rome shall record, and when I do forget the least of these unspeakable deserts, Romans, forget your fealty to me. Titus to Tamora. Now, madame, are you prisoner to an emperor, to him that for your honor and your state will use you nobly and your followers. Aside, a goodly lady, trust me of the hue that I would choose were I to choose anew. Clear up, fair queen, that cloudy countenance. Though chance of war hath wrought this change of cheer, thou comest not to be made a scorn in Rome. Princely shall be thy usage every way. Rest on my word, and let not discontent daunt all your hopes, madame. He comforts you, can make you greater than the Queen of Goths. Lavinia, you are not displeased with us? Not I, my lord, sith true nobility warrants these words in princely courtesy. Thanks, sweet Lavinia. Romans, let us go. Ransomless here we set our prisoners free. Proclaim our honours, lords, and drum, with trump and drum. Flourish, Saturninus, Tamora, Chiron, Demetrius, and Aaron prepare to leave. Bassianus seizing Lavinia. Lord Titus, by your leave, this maid is mine. How, sir? Are you in earnest, then, my lord? I, noble Titus, and resolved withal to do myself this reason and this right. Some QQ is our Roman justice. This prince in justice seizeth but his own. And that he will and shall if Lucius live. Traitors, avaunt! Where is the emperor's guard? Treason, my lord, Lavinia is surprised. Surprised? By whom? By him that justly may bear his betrothed from all the world away. Exit Bassianus, Lavinia, and Marcus. Mutius. Brothers, help me to convey her hence away, and with my sword I'll keep this door safe. Exit Lucius, Quintus, and Martius. Follow, my lord, and I'll soon bring her back. My lord, you pass not here. What? Villain boy, barrest me my way in Rome. Titus attacks Mutius. Help, Lucius, help! Titus kills Mutius. Exit Saturninus, Tamora, Chiron, Demetrius, and Aaron. Enter Lucius. My lord, you are unjust, and more than so. Is wrongful quarrel you have slain your son. Nor thou nor he are any sons of mine. My sons would never so dishonor me. Traitor, restore Lavinia to the emperor. Dead, if you will, but not to be his wife. That is another's lawful promised love. Exit. Enter aloft the emperor, Saturninus, with Tamora and her two sons, Chiron and Demetrius, and Aaron the Moor. No, Titus, no. The emperor needs her not, nor her, nor thee, nor any of thy stock. I'll trust by leisure him that mocks me once, thee never, nor thy traitorous haughty sons. Confederates all, thus do dishonor me. Was none in Rome to make a stale, but Saturnine, full well, Andronicus, agree these deeds with that proud brag of thine that saidst I begged the empire at thy hands. O monstrous, what reproachful words are these? But go thy ways. Go give that changing peace to him that flourished for her with his sword. A valiant son-in-law thou shalt enjoy, one fit to bandy with thy lawless sons, to ruffle in the commonwealth of Rome. These words are razors to my wounded heart. and therefore lovely Temora, queen of Goths, that like the stately Phoebe, mongst her nymphs, dost overshine the galliest of dames of Rome, if thou be pleased with this my sudden choice, behold, I choose thee, Temora, for my bride, and will create thee Empress of Rome. Speak, Queen of Goths, dost thou applaud my choice? And here I swear by all the Roman gods, sith the priest and holy water are so near, and tapers burn so bright, and everything in readiness for Hymenaeus stand. I will not resalute the streets of Rome, or climb my palace, till from forth this place I lead espoused my bride along with me. And here in sight of heaven to Rome I swear, if Saturnine advance the Queen of Goths, she will a handmaid be to his desires. She will, a loving nurse, a mother to his youths. Ascend, fair queen, Pantheon. Lords, accompany your noble emperor and his lovely bride, sent by the heavens for Prince Saturnine, whose wisdom hath her fortune conquered. There shall we consummate our spousal rites. Exit all but Titus. I am not bid to wait upon this bride. Titus, when wert thou wont to walk alone, dishonored thus and challenged of wrongs? Enter Marcus and Titus' sons, Lucius, Quintus, and Martius. O Titus, see! O see what thou hast done, in a bad quarrel slain a virtuous son. No, foolish tribune, no son of mine, nor thou, nor these, confederates in the deed that hath dishonored all our family, unworthy brother and unworthy sons. But let us give him burial as becomes, give Mutius burial with our brethren. Traitors, away, he rests not in this tomb. This monument 500 years hath stood, which I have sumptuously re-edified. Here none but soldiers and Rome's servitors repose in fame, none basely slain in brawls. Bury him where you can, he comes not here. My lord, this is impiety in you. My nephew Mutius' deeds do plead for him. He must be buried with his brethren, and shall, or we will accompany him. And shall? What villain was it spake that word? He that would vouch it in any place but here. What, would you bury him in my despite? No, noble Titus, but entreat of thee to pardon Mutius and to bury him. Marcus, even thou hast struck upon my crest, and with these boys mine honour thou hast wounded. My foes I do repute, you every one, so trouble me no more, but get you gone. He is not with himself, let us withdraw. Not I, till Mutius' bones be buried. The brother Marcus and the sons Lucius, Quintus, and Martius kneel. Brother, for in that name doth nature speak. Father, and in that name doth nature speak. Speak thou no more, if all the rest will speed. Renowned Titus, more than half my soul, dear father, soul and substance, all of us. Suffer thy brother Marcus to inter his noble nephew here in virtue's nest, that had died in honour and Lavinia's cause. Thou art a Roman, be not barbarous. The Greeks upon advice did bury Ajax that slew himself, and wise Laertes' son did graciously plead for his funerals. Let not young Mutius then, that was thy joy, be barred his entrance here. Rise, Marcus, rise, the dismal stay, this that e'er I saw, to be dishonoured by my sons in Rome. Well, bury him, and bury me the next. They put the body of Mutius in the tomb. There thy bones, sweet Mutius, with thy friends, till we with trophies do adorn thy tomb. Marcus, Lucius, Quintus, and Martius, no man shed tears for noble Mutius. He lives in fame that died in virtue's cause. They rise, stand aside. all but Marcus and Titus. My lord, to step out of these dreary dumps, how comes it that the subtle queen of Goths is of a sudden thus advanced in Rome? I know not, Marcus, but I know it is. Whether by device or no, the heavens can tell. Is she not then beholden to the man that brought her for this high good turn so far? Flourish. Enter the emperor Saturninus, Tamora and her 2 sons Chiron and Demetrius, with Aaron the Moor at one door. Enter at the other door Bassianus and Lavinia with others. So, Bassianus, you have played your prize. God give you joy, sir, of your gallant bride. And you of yours, my lord, I say no more, nor wish no less, and so I take my leave. Traitor, if Rome have law, or we have power, thou and thy faction shall repent this rape. Rape, call you, my lord, to seize my own, my true betrothed love, and now my wife. But let the laws of Rome determine all. Meanwhile am I possessed of that is mine. 'Tis good, sir, you are very short with us, but if we leave, we'll be as sharp with you. My lord, what I have done as best I may, answer I must and shall do with my life. Only thus much I give your grace to know. By all the duties that I owe to Rome, this noble gentleman, Lord Titus here, is in opinion and in honor wronged, that, in the rescue of Lavinia, with his own hand did slay his youngest son in zeal to you, and highly moved to wrath to be controlled, in that he frankly gave. Receive him then to favor, Saturnine, that hath expressed himself in all his deeds, a father and a friend to thee in Rome. Prince Bassianus, leave to plead my deeds. 'Tis thou and those that have dishonored me. Leave to plead my deeds. 'Tis thou and those that have dishonored me. Rome and the righteous heavens be my judge. How I have loved and honored Saturnine. He kneels. Tamora to Saturninus. My worthy lord, if ever Tamora were gracious in those princely eyes of thine, then hear me speak indifferently for all, and at my sweet pardon what is past. What, madame, be dishonored openly, and basely put it up without revenge? Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you, but on mine honor dare I undertake for good Titus' innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Aside to Saturninus, my lord, be ruled by me, be one at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne, lest then the people and patricians too, upon a just survey, take Titus' part, and so supplant you for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin. Yield at entreats, and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. Come, come, sweet emperor, come, Andronicus. Take up this good old man, and cheer the heart that dies in tempest of thy angry frown. Rise, Titus, rise. My empress hath prevailed. Titus rising. I thank you, your majesty, and her, my lord. These words, these looks infuse new life in me. Titus, I am incorporate in Rome, a Roman now adopted happily, and must advise the emperor for his good. This day all quarrels die, Andronicus, and let it be mine honor. Good, my lord, that I have reconciled your friends and you. For you, Prince Bassianus, I have passed my word and promised the emperor that you will be more mild and tractable. And fear not, lords, and you, Lavinia, by my advice, all humbled on your knees, you shall ask pardon of his majesty. Marcus, Lavinia, Lucius, Quintus, and Mardius kneel. We do, and vow to heaven and to his highness that what we did was mildly as we might, tendering our sister's honor and our own. That on mine honor here do I protest. Away, and talk not, trouble us no more. Nay, nay, sweet emperor, we must all be friends. The tribune and his nephews kneel for grace. I will not be denied. Sweetheart, look back. Marcus, for thy sake and thy brother's here, and at my lovely Timora's entreats, I do remit these young men's heinous faults. Stand up. They rise. Lavinia, though you left me like a churl, I found a friend, and sure as death I swore I would not part a bachelor from the priest. Come, if the emperor's court can feast 2 brides, you are my guest, Lavinia, and your friends. This day shall be a love day, Timora. Tomorrow, and it please your majesty, to hunt the panther and the hart with me. With horn and hound will give your grace bonjour. Be it so, Titus, and gramercy too. Sounds trumpets, Aaron the Moor remains. Act 2, Scene 1. Now climbeth Timora Olympus' top, safe out of fortune's shot, and sits aloft, secure of thunder's crack or lightning flash, advanced above pale envy's threatening reach, as when the golden sun salutes the morn, and, having gilt the ocean with his beams, gallops the zodiac in his glistering couch, and overlooks the highest peering hills, so Timora. Upon her wit doth earthly honor wait, and virtue stoops and trembles at her frown. Then, Aaron, arm thy heart, and fit thy thoughts to mount aloft with thy imperial mistress, and mount her pitch, whom thou in triumph long hast prisoner held, fettered in amorous chains, and faster bound to Aaron's charming eyes than is Prometheus tied to Caucasus. Away with slavish weeds and servile thoughts. I will be bright and shine in pearl and gold, to wait upon this new-made empress. To wait, said I, to wanton with this queen, this goddess, this Semiramis, this nymph, this siren, that will charm Rome Saturnine and see his shipwreck and his commonweals. Enter Chiron and Demetrius, braving. Hello, what storm is this? Chiron, Chiron, thy years wants wit, thy wit wants edge, and manners to intrude where I am graced, and may, for aught thou knowest, affected be. Demetrius, thou dost overween in all, and so in this to bear me down with braves. 'Tis not the difference of a year or two makes me less gracious or thee more fortunate. I am as able and as fit as thou to serve and to deserve my mistress' grace, and that my sword upon thee shall approve, and plead my passions for Lavinia's love. Clubs, these lovers will not keep the peace. Why, boy, although our mother unadvised gave you a dancing rapier by your side, are you so desperate grown to threat your friends? Go to, have your lathe glued within your sheath, till you know better how to handle it. Meanwhile, sir, with the little skill I have, full well shalt thou perceive how much I dare. Ay, boy, grow ye so brave. They draw. Why, how now, lords? So near the emperor's palace dare ye draw, and maintain such a quarrel openly? Full well I wot the ground of all this grudge. I would not for 1,000,000 of gold the cause were known to them it most concerns, nor would your noble mother for much more be so dishonored in the court of Rome. For shame, put up. Not I, till I have sheathed my rapier in his bosom, and withal thrust those reproachful speeches down his throat that he hath breathed in my dishonour here. For that I am prepared and full resolved, foul-spoken coward, that thunderest with thy tongue, and with thy weapon nothing darest perform. Away, I say, now by the gods that warlike gods adore, this petty brabble will undo us all. Why, lords, and think you not how dangerous it is to jet upon a prince's right? What, is Lavinia then become so loose, or Bassianus so degenerate, that for her love such quarrels may be broached without controlment, justice, or revenge? Young lords, beware. And should the empress know this discord's ground, the music would not please. I care not. I knew she and all the world. I love Lavinia more than all the world. Youngling, learn thou to make some meaner choice. Lavinia is thine elder brother's hope. Why, are ye mad? Or know ye not in Rome how furious and impatient they be, and cannot brook competitors in love? I tell you, lords, you do but plot your deaths by this device. Aaron, 1,000 deaths would I propose to achieve her whom I love. To achieve her how? Why makest thou it so strange? She is a woman, therefore may be wooed. She is a woman, therefore may be won. She is Lavinia, therefore must be loved. What, man, more water glideth by the mill than wots the miller of, and easy it is of a cut loaf to steal a sheave. We know, though Bassianus be the emperor's brother, better than he have worn Vulcan's badge. Ay, and as good as Saturninus may. Then why should he despair that knows to court it, with words, fair looks, and liberality? What hast not thou full often struck a doe, and borne her cleanly by the keeper's nose? Why then it seems some certain snatch or so would serve your turns. Ay, so the turn were served. Aaron, thou hast hit it. Would you had hit it too? Then should not we be tired with this ado? Why, hark ye, and are you such fools to square for this? Would it offend you, then, that both should speed? Faith, not me, nor me so, I were one. For shame, be friends and join for that you jar. 'Tis policy and stratagem must do, that you affect, and so you resolve, that what you cannot as you would achieve, you must perforce accomplish as you may. Take this of me, Lucrece was not more chaste than this Lavinia, Bassianus' love. A speedier course than lingering languishment must we pursue, and I have found the path, my lords. A solemn hunting is in hand. There will the lovely Roman ladies troop. The forest walks are wide and spacious, and many unfrequented plots there are, fitted by kind for rape and villainy. Single you thither then this dainty doe, and strike her home by force, if not by words. This way, or not at all, stand you in hope. Come, our empress, with her sacred wit, to villainy and vengeance consecrate, will we acquaint with all that what we intend. And she shall file our engines with advice, that will not suffer you to square yourselves, But to your wishes' height advance you both. The emperor's court is like the house of fame, the palace full of tongues of eyes and ears. The woods are ruthless, dreadful, deaf, and dull. There speak and strike, brave boys, and take your turns. There serve your lust, shadowed from heaven's eye, and revel in Lavinia's treasury. Thy counsel, lad, smells of no cowardice. Sitfas aut nefas, till I find the stream, to cool this heat, a charm to calm these fits. Per stygia permanes vohor. Exit.